nights I go live on my Facebook page, but Sunday nights here I am. And I notice that I'm meeting different people in the different groups. Some people are YouTube only, some people are Facebook only, and then there's a few special people that pop onto both. So whether you're on YouTube or Facebook, I just love being able to connect with you, and thanks for popping in and watching my videos. It's awesome. So, my name is Linda Dolke. I'm coming to you from the central coast of New South Wales, Australia. I've been doing this job, not YouTube Lives, but I've been doing this job now for nearly 15 years, and I love being a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Just love it. So I have lots and lots of beautiful new things to show you. If we get time, I'm going to show you how I did the background on this lovely card, which is really very easy with our new blending brushes. And the other thing I'm going to show you tonight is by request. So, hi there Cindy, hey. I'm going to quickly pull this up on my computer so that I can see, just turning off the sound there, and let's make sure that I'm in the right place and everyone can see me okay. Cindy, I see you can see me, so that's a good sign. All right, looking good. And I can see comments, excellent. Hi Kay, how you doing? Hi Arizona, Crystals and Diamonds. Oh, that's a nice name. Can't go wrong with that. All right, so I'm going to get started pretty quickly tonight. If anyone has any questions, please just ask as I'm going through. So I'll be checking the comments as often as I can think to do it. And I'll also be creating. And when I'm creating, I get into this zone where that's pretty much all I think about. But if I can just remember to look over at the computer every now and then, watch for comments so I can answer your questions, and it's just nice to chat. It's like while we've all been in lockdown in various stages around the world, it's been so nice to have this medium to still chat to people. So I'm very grateful for it, and I hope you've enjoyed that side of things as well, in amidst all the other yucky stuff. All right, so let's get this turned around and let's get going. Give me a second. All right, going into the cradle. At my little desk, I've got my computer open. Just pull this over in the middle. This is what we made on Friday night. We made these on my Facebook page. So this was my Facebook Live. If you're not a member of that, but you're on Facebook, then please just make sure that you pop over to Facebook, and then you'll be able to see these as well and how I made them. So I had a couple of technical problems on Friday night. I do sometimes have technical problems on Facebook, and I'm hoping that won't plague us tonight. YouTube seems to be okay. I hope I haven't jinxed anything, but anyway, I'll move these out of the way, and you can see those ones over on the Facebook page. I'll put the link to the Facebook page in the comments below when I'm done with this. So tonight I had a request. Earlier on my Facebook page, I asked my peeps whether is there anything they would like to see, what can I show them, and the request came in for something to do with the dragonflies. Okay, now this is called Dragonfly Garden, this set here, and it's part of this beautiful Dandy Garden suite. Okay, so it's a really nice suite. I don't have everything in the suite. I don't have the other stamp set because there's two sets in the suite. There's the Garden Wishes one. I don't have that one, and matching dies for that. And then there's this stamp set and a matching punch. These ones I do have. I have most of the other things. We did a couple of things recently on a live video with these days, a dandy laser cut paper pieces. I have, like I said, the Dragonfly bundle. I have the trinkets. I have these lovely papers and envelopes. I have this, actually I've got that right here. I have this braided trim, which is really nice. And I have the papers. Now, I'm not a fan of every single piece in the paper packs. I know some people really love them. I don't love every single one. There's a couple I'm not so keen on, but the good thing is, because it's double-sided, if you don't like one side, you're probably going to like the other. So, and you can only use one piece, one side at a time, so that's not really a big problem. There are enough beautiful designs in here that I'm still excited to use it. So, I don't know whether I'm going to use it tonight or not. I'm kind of, like I often do, making it up as I go along. I have a rough idea of what I want to do in my head. So hopefully we'll get to. And look, if anyone is watching from overseas, and you see any prices on my pages, please don't pay any attention to them, because the prices on the Australian catalogues are completely different from elsewhere in the world. Okay, so if you're in Australia and you don't have a catalogue, sing out, message me, or leave me a comment and I will mail you one. Okay, they don't cost anything. Happy to pop one in the post for you. Okay, alright, so let's bring in our set. And I've decided tonight to work with one of my favourite neutral colours, and this is Grey Granite, which is a really, really beautiful neutral. Actually, what I might do really, really quickly is I'm going to bring in a couple of the neutrals and I'm going to show you the colour difference. Can everyone see my page okay? Like, is there enough space? Do we need to get in closer, or is that fine? So I'm going to bring in a couple of the neutral papers and just show you the difference. Alright, so here we go. Alright, so I'll bring this, the one most people are very familiar with is Crumb Cake. This used to be known as Craft way back in the day, so if you may still, some people still occasionally call it Craft, and that was Craft spelt with a K, K-R-A-F-T. It's not called that anymore these days, it's called Crumb Cake, and every now and then they do release craft paper, and it's actually not like this, it's a thicker, almost a bit more like cardboard, whereas this is definitely cardstock, so much smoother and thinner. So Crumb Cake, and then good old Sahara Sand. Now there's quite a bit of difference between these two. This to me is definitely more brown. This has a lot more green in it. Can you see that? How there's more green in that paper? When you put them next to each other you can see it, but if you just looked at it by itself you probably wouldn't notice, but when you compare them you can see this one's a lot more green. Okay, then we have Smoky Slate, a lot more grey, more towards silver actually. Okay, so that's our lightest grey. We also have a darker grey. I didn't pull that one out. And that one's called Basic Grey. I think it's good to see the colours next to each other. Oh, that one's got some pieces out of it, but these are just this is out of my scrap drawer, so you can see why they're looking like this. So this is Basic Grey, completely different. I'm going to pull that one out of the mix because to me these ones are all like in the lighter palette, and that's really what I'm trying to compare. This one obviously is dark. Okay, so we'll pull that one out. It's completely different. And then the last one in this particular, and look, this is a bit the same. Soft Suede is a lot darker. That's more like your basic grey, but this one's your brown. Okay, so to me that tones in really rather nicely with the Crumb Cake, but not so much with the other colours. Okay, we'll pull that one out. So still moving through these three light neutrals. The last one is the one we're using today, and this is called Grey Granite. And hopefully you can see the difference in that one again. Okay, the closest thing to Grey Granite is probably this one here, but it's still completely different. So this has like a brown or a beige base. This has a green base. Can everyone see that? Can that make sense? And then this one is our Smoky Slate, more like a silver, a light grey. And then this one, the Grey Granite, almost has a touch of mauve to it. I don't know if you can see that. Can anyone see what I'm talking about when I say that this one has more of a mauvey base? It tones in really, really well with, I'm sorry, my son has joined the chat, and probably a good thing if he doesn't do that because he's just being silly now. But anyway, okay. So this is, to me, has more of a mauve base. Looks really, really good with colours like Blackberry Bliss. That looks fantastic with it. So like if I was to pull that in, I think this is like a beautiful pairing. Now Blackberry Bliss actually goes with all of them, but the one it goes best with I think is this because it's got that mauvey base. So when you're talking colours, even though I think there's a place for all of these colours in our neutrals. Do you guys have a favourite? Do you have one that you use all the time? You can, now I've said it. Well, yeah, sometimes that's what it takes, isn't it? For someone to say something and then you go, oh yes, that's right. Is green my favourite colour? No, Helen, it isn't actually. Does anyone know what my favourite colour is? I do like green and I do use it quite a lot. But the interesting thing is, there are some colours that I see as blue and other people see them as green. So that might be what you're thinking of, and I've just given it away. My favourite colour is turquoise. Turquoise or aqua. Anything like somewhere in between blue and green, if that makes sense. But I see it more as like Bermuda Bay. Okay, this is Bermuda Bay. I see Bermuda Bay as a blue, but I know some people see it as a green. And same with Pool Party. Pool Party is definitely, it looks to me like a blue. A lot of people say it's green. So Pool Party, this is Pool Party cardstock. Okay, people say it's green. I think that's blue. I see blue. So I don't know whether I'm a little bit colorblind or what's going on there, but to be honest, I'm usually pretty good with color. Like I'm pretty good at picking colors. But yeah, I definitely see this as a blue. Anyway, everyone's different, right? Crumb Cake is your favorite, Cindy, is it? Yeah. Well, I'm very excited that you liked the card. You mean the card that I held up? You mean this one? Is that the one you mean? Now, Crystals and Diamonds, that's obviously not your name. I'm sorry, I don't know what to call you, but Arizona. How about I call you Arizona? This is the card I held up before, so if that's the one you're thinking you liked, we may get time. I hope we get time to do that one, and if you guys would like to see it, of course. All right, so that's the reason I've chosen this one tonight. This is my favourite of the neutrals, but any of them would work. Okay, they're all good. So let's move them out. Oh, I better keep that one out. All right. Okay, so I'm going to start by folding this in half, which is just a card base. So it's, in Australia we use A4 cardstock. In America I know they use letter. So it doesn't matter which one. All you're doing is you're cutting it in half. So, you know, if this is your piece of A4, you cut it directly in half, and then you're going to fold each half in half again to make a card base. That's your basic card base size. I've even got, because I do quite a bit of American sizing for cards, I even have some American sizes here, or like little templates all sorted out that I keep by my desk in case I have to suddenly convert into American measurements. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab out this lovely big, it's like a set of daisies, although they might be, you know, they might be chamomile, because they look like those backwards daisies. You know what I mean when I say backwards daisies, where the petals are all folded down, and I know chamomile plants look like that. So let's grab, this is eye block, I think it's eye block, and I'm going to pop my piece on that, and I'm going to ink it up. We're going to do this with Versamark ink. So I'm using the blending brushes a lot at the moment. We're going to use them on this card, and I hope that that if you haven't got them yet, that you're going to have a look at them, because they are absolutely fantastic. I think they don't replace sponge daubers or sponges, but they just do such a beautiful job of sponging your backgrounds. Another Cindy, yay! Alright, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to start sort of down in this bottom left hand corner. Making sure I make really good contact. Alright, you may not be able to see that very well. That's okay. That's not the point of the exercise. What we're going to do now is we're going to use clear embossing powder. White would also look really nice, but it's going to give us a different look. I always have a little container whenever I'm, something even bigger than this would be fine, but whenever I'm embossing I always have a container to make sure that all my powder goes into the container, and then I can just plop it straight back into the tub when I'm done. And I'm looking here, and there is, of course, a dimensional back, I think it is. Oh. In that, those things, man, they get everywhere. Alright. I took a photo recently of my kitten who had gotten on, he's into everything, and he got into some stuff underneath the table and ended up with a dimensional on his nose. And then a couple of days ago I looked up while I was working, and he was behind my computer monitor, and I I noticed he was eating something. I'm like, oh, that can't be good. And what is he eating? He's eating some gold leaf. and it was stuck on his nose, and he just put his tongue up there and swallowed it. So I don't have as much gold leaf as I did. Didn't seem to hurt him any. I don't know. I was a bit concerned that might not be good, but didn't seem to bother him. He is so naughty. Alright, so we've got this ready to go. I'm just having a look, and that looks pretty good. I'm going to bring in my heat tool. What have I done with my heat tool? There's an interesting thing. It's usually here. I don't never move it away. Ah, there it is. It's there all along. Just looking in the wrong spot. Okay, so I don't know if you've seen the Stampin' Up! Heat tool. This is a really good one. First of all, it has this plastic bit here to protect you, because this little metal thing inside here gets super hot. Really, really hot. And you don't want to give yourself 3rd-degree burns while you're trying to make a card. So my suggestion is, if you're looking for a heat tool, get one that has the guard like this. If you can't get hold of this one for some reason, definitely get one similar. It has a guard on the end, and preferably has at least 2 speeds. So you can do slow when you don't want to blow anything around and it's more delicate work, or you can use the high setting when you want a bit of a faster result. I'm going to use the high setting, so it's going to make a little bit more noise, and I'll just go quiet for a second while I do that. Give me a moment. That's good. Oh, I might have missed a spot. Give me one more second. Just missed a little bit. That's better. Okay, you know when it's all done because it's hard and shiny, and it, you know, all the picture is complete, so there's no light spots. Okay, there's a couple of bits there that might be a little lighter, but it's not too bad. That's pretty good, and you can run your finger over it almost straight away, because once it's cooked, it's set, so you don't need to worry. You can't brush the powder off at that point. Okay, you know what? It's kind of nice just like that, isn't it? I was thinking I was going to sponge over it, and I still might, but it's kind of pretty just as it is. But anyway, let's see how we go. I'm deciding what colour to go with. I haven't decided whether... I'm tempted. Alright, so I've got a couple of choices. I thought about going with grey granite over the top, which would look quite nice, very subtle, but very, very pretty. And the pattern, because this is clear, it will come through more when we add our grey granite over the top. I thought about adding some green, so probably Mossy Meadow, or even Old Olive, but that might be a bit bright. Mossy Meadow is a bit more neutral and a bit more dark, so I thought about doing that, and that would tone in really, really well with the Mossy Meadow braided trim. That would look nice. But another option, which I've only just thought of, is to go over it with white. Maybe that's what we'll do. Let's see what that looks like. And if it doesn't work, we can do it again. So, alright. So I have got white here, because I was using it for the other project, but I'm very tempted to do this, so I just want to see what it's going to look like. What do you guys think? Alright, experiment time. So to pick up the colour with your blending brush, the bristles, there's thousands of them in there. They're just so thick, and you can be quite firm with it and pick up as much ink as you need to. You will probably find you're re-inking a little bit more than usual when you're using your blending brushes, because you pick up a lot of ink off the surface. So you may find you need to re-ink a little more. So I'm going to start down the bottom here, and we're just going to see how this looks. Now initially it might not look like much. Interesting. Alright, I'm going to keep going. I'm committed. I'm going to do the whole thing, and if it, like I said, if it doesn't turn out, this is an experiment, and we can just see how it goes. The thing I love about these blending brushes is that they give you such a great result. There's no, you know, when you use a dauber and you get the circle where you first apply the ink, and there's none of that with these. These are fantastic. They're just smooth and just give you a great result. Well, that's kind of pretty. All right, so what we need now is a cloth. I wasn't going to do this with the white, but with the white it's even more important. I'm just thinking I don't have, normally I have tissues here, but we've taken them out. So I'm actually going to do something I wouldn't normally do, but let's see how it goes. And I'm going to use my embossing buddy just to quickly go over the top. All right, so this is working. So I don't know if you can see, but when you press over it, it takes off the white or any ink that is sitting on the shiny, hard design of the embossing, and it removes that and brings the design out more. Look at that. That's rather pretty, isn't it? Nice. I do like it. All right, so I'm going to add, of course I have to add a dragonfly or two, and I'm deciding where they might go. I'm also going to use the sentiment, and I'm deciding whether I'm going to stamp my sentiment straight on or whether I want to put it on a label. I'm leaning towards a label, so, and I was thinking about doing a white sentiment, but I'm tempted to maybe go with the same colour, the grey granite again, to make it very subtle, but pop it up. So we've got some really nice label punches at the moment. I mean, I've got simple ones like this. I've got an everyday label like this one, which is a good, actually that one, that would be great actually. That might be my choice. I keep my punches right next to my desk here, so that when I'm looking for the right punch, I've got it right at my side. So that's why you can hear me rummaging around in my drawer. There's also this one. I am thinking about this one though, I think. Alright, let's try this. Now there's some nice sentiments in here. May good things grow all year long. Thank you for your kindness, for a true friend, and you are an inspiration. Ooh, that's a nice little group of sentiments. Is this the right colour? Yes, it is. Alright. Because I want this to be really subtle, I'm deciding which one. And here's something you can do as well. I probably, well I will because I've got enough room. If you have enough cardstock, you can cut this out in advance, and then you can actually position it over your stamps to see what's going to fit best. So I'm thinking this one might be the go. There's plenty of room there for it. I could try stamping on here, but I find it is quite difficult at times to stamp straight onto, we'll try, and if it doesn't work then we can restamp and punch it. So, and I'm deciding, I'm actually going to go with the Mossy Meadow one for this. It's going to make it stand out a little bit more. Let's see, I'm going to bring my head in guys, and my apologies for that. May good things grow all year long. And because we have the grey granite out and I have a sponge handy, I'm just going to pick up some ink off that. And to make this sentiment stand out a little bit more, because I'm using the same colour, normally I would go with white to make it stand out more from the rest of, but I actually want this to be a really subtle effect. So, and so this will end up here. Yeah, that's rather, it is subtle, isn't it? I'm wondering if it's dark enough. Hi there, Jamie. Nice to see you. Yeah, I'm liking the white too. It's simple, but very, very effective. All right, so now we're going to add a couple of dragonflies. And once again, I could add them on white, but I'm actually leaning towards putting them onto vellum because I think that will provide a nice soft result as well. So let me grab another D block. Now there are two different dragonflies in this set. Okay, this is the set you wanted me to use, isn't it? This is the one. You still here? Alright, so I'm going to try this one. Two different ones. See, one's got like kind of diagonal stripes, and the other ones go east to west. So they're very similar, and they both fit in the punch. So for this, I'm actually going to use Memento, because if I decide to, I could use my blends markers to colour them in, which is probably a smart thing to do on vellum. Vellum is a less porous surface, and blends work really, really well on both porous and non-porous surfaces, so that's probably the way to go. So I'm going to stamp this one, and I'm thinking I might do the other one. Not that it matters too much, because it wouldn't matter if they were both the same, but just in the interest of having something different. And we'll go Memento again. Make sure I got it inked really well. I'm going to go. So you want to have the bottom of the dragonfly facing towards the edge of the paper, because the punch reaches in from the edge. So you want to always make sure that this end down here is right near the edge of the paper. And here's our dragonfly. Oh, now this might be a problem. I forgot. It actually does two dragonflies. A big one and a little one. The little one might be too high, and that might actually cut into the other dragonfly. Yes, I think it will just. Well, that's annoying. Oh well, that's okay. I'll do one, and then I'll get another piece of vellum and do the other. I didn't think of that. I forgot about the other little dragonfly. Oh well. You guys will just laugh at me. Well, let's start with one, and then I'll decide whether I want to have a second one. I think I am going to want a second one. Alright, so I'm going to put these on dimensionals. I think I'm actually just going to pop them straight on. There's some dimensionals just over here. Here they are, hiding, as they tend to do. Now I'm actually only going to put two behind here. I want to make sure there's plenty of space under here, so if I want to have a play around with a bit of ribbon, I can. And I'm thinking, I've actually unraveled the end of this, and I kind of like it. And I'm thinking I might just add another dimensional here to hold that down. There we go. And then I'm going to take the back off that one. So I'm trying to get a little bit creative with my trim. So I might cut that a little bit shorter, and obviously I have to fray this end as well. I probably should have done that before I stuck it on, but oh well. I just wanted to see what it was going to look like before I went to all that trouble, and I don't mind it. I kind of like it. Alright. Maybe I want it sticking out one side. I don't know. I'm going to have a play with that. I like doing fun things with ribbon, not just tying a bow always. So, you know, try mucking around with them. Try, you know, fraying the ends, looping them differently underneath a sentiment. Don't always feel that you have to tie a bow. And a knot sometimes is all you need. You don't always need a bow. And I know there's a lot of people out there who hate bows, who don't like tying bows. Alright. So I'm going to play with this a little bit more. I might cut it a bit shorter too, I think. Yeah, that's looking better. I'll play with it a bit more and we'll get it looking okay. It's looking cute. I might have to make it sit down with a glue dot or something. We'll see. Okay, so now we have this dragonfly, and I'm deciding where I want him to go. One dragonfly might be enough, you know, and I just think I want him here. But before that, of course, I need to colour him. And what colour will we do? Shall I make him... I thought about doing like a yellowy kind of a colour. I could do him green, but that might be a little boring. We could do orange or red, but I'm leaning towards the yellow. I just realised you guys have gone very, very quiet. So I hope you're all still there. Alright, so this is Dark Mango Melody. So let me have a little play with that. And then I have light. Ah, you know what? They're both Dark Mango Melody. There's not much point in trying to blend with the same colour. That's light Mango Melody. Go dark again. And the light. Blends work best when they're wet. They blend best when they're wet. And I'm thinking I might... I've got dark grey and light grey. I'm going to go dark Smoky Slate. And I'm going to just colour in his body. Still there? Oh, good. Okay, this is the set you were after, yes? You were wanting to do something with this? White is such a versatile colour to have in your collection. When you have white, you can do so many different things with it. I'm just going to pop his wings up a little bit. So it's a simple enough little card, but it's really quite effective. I really like it. It needs a bit of bling though, don't you think? I think so. So we have some bling options. We have some gold. Gold is good. Maybe the gold. I could do the champagne rhinestones. They're good. I could do regular rhinestones, but I think maybe the gold might be nice. I'm deciding where to put them. I'm going to pop one on the dragonfly. Maybe that's all I need, just one on the dragonfly. Should I have gone with a larger one? Move this one down. I'm just going to have it. I'm experimenting with the size. What do you think? 2, like that? That kind of works. You know what? I think I'm happy with that. I'm going to say that's all we need on that one. Very simple little card, but I like how it turned out. Let's bring it up close so you can see. Ah, have you ordered it already, Kay? The Dragonfly set? And you're getting the punch as well? I think the standout, this lovely daisy is the standout stamp in the set. I think it's absolutely beautiful. So yeah, you can't really see it very well, but I'll try and get a good photograph of it in some good light, and hopefully you'll all be able to enjoy that. I'll pop it up on my Instagram and my Facebook page. Alright, okay, so I wanted to show you how I got this background on this card, and I'm actually going to be doing this background as well as, let's get a few of these things away. I've got stuff everywhere at the moment. Get my blends away. Yeah, I have a blending technique class here in my home studio on Wednesday, and I'm looking forward to that. And this is one of the techniques. It'll be slightly different to this. I'm using slightly different colours and so forth, but I just wanted to show you how nice this is. So this is using the blending brushes. You could get a similar effect with a sponge or a sponge dauber. The only thing to worry about is when you're using templates. So these are our basic masks from the annual catalogue. You'll find them in there. They come in a set of 4, I believe, and there's dots. I thought the dots would be really nice on the crumb cake, and I'm going to make a card with those as well. And I would have done it tonight, but I couldn't find them, so we're doing this one instead. But what I found was if you put them down, there's a thing called shadow stamping where you stamp in white and you stamp in a colour over the top and offset it a little bit, and basically I'm using the same technique but with a mask instead of stamps. So let's grab our crumb cake piece back in from before, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to fold that in half. And I might just do a different colour tonight for a bit of fun. We'll see. I'm going to use my bone folder. And I'm going to position this just over my card. There's no right or wrong position for it. You're just going to pop it on so it's straight, and you can easily see it straight because the lines that go through the center, I'm lining them up with the side of my card. And you could also line it up with the side of your grid paper as well if you're using grid paper underneath, which I always do. I find grid paper keeps everything straight and stops you from going crooked, so that's pretty cool. Oh, I'm glad you liked the card. Thank you very much. Thanks, Jamie, and thank you very much, Cindy. Okay, so I've got my blending brush already here. This one's the one we used before for the white, so I'm going to do that again. I tend to keep my blending brushes, once I've used them for a particular colour, I just keep them. You can wash them, but I just keep them for that colour. So this is all my aquas and my Bermuda Bay, Pool Party, Coastal Cabana kind of colours. This would be like Highland Heather or Gorgeous Grape. So I'll just hang on to these and use them for the appropriate colour. Alright, so I'm going to put this over here. I'm going to dig up my white ink pad that I just had 5 seconds ago and put somewhere. Where did I put it? Man, why do I do this? Oh, here it is, right here in front of me. I do this all the time, guys. And thank you, Cindy, for saying last time I was on Facebook Live, thank you for saying that everybody does it. Made me feel better. Everyone loses stuff. Yeah, and that's the truth. Alright, so once it's in position, I'm just going to hold it with my hand. And I'm going to start down here in the bottom right-hand corner. And I'm literally just going to sponge my white ink straight over. So what I started to say before about sponge daubers, you can do this with sponge daubers, but the problem is that the masks tend to break up the fibres of the sponge dauber, and they break really, really easily. So they get all ripped up. That doesn't happen with your brushes, okay? Because the brushes just sort of go down in between the different parts of the template, and it doesn't affect them. So it's pretty cool. So I'm just doing circular motions, and I'm branching out. I'm going from the corner up. And you could just, if you wanted to, stay with the diagonal there. I'm not going to. I'm going to go a little bit higher up here. And I'm sort of feathering it off. So you'll see in a minute when we take this away that it just looks like it's disappearing, like blending into the background. And that's why these brushes are so awesome. They give you this fabulous result. Right, I'm going to take that off. And you should be able to see what I mean about it sort of fading in, okay? Looks really great. And it's so easy to do. Now we do still have white left on here. You can, if you want to, just grab a wipe and just pull that straight off. In fact, that's what I would suggest. So I've got some, I keep some baby wipes near the table. Those of you who were with me on Friday night, I did actually do the baby wipe technique. An oldie but a goodie. Let's move that out of the way for a second, and I'm just going to wipe this off, and you can see it just comes off really easily. Isn't that simple? Alright, so now it's ready to go again. But what I'm going to do this time is I'm going to add another colour. So I'm going to line this back up. Now it's easy to do. I can put it down exactly where it was before by just putting it in the same spot. You can see that the pieces fit into, it's like a puzzle. It all fits back together quite beautifully and it's back in the right spot. So now what I want to do is I want to get a different colour, and I'm actually thinking, just for fun, I'm going to use Blackberry Bliss. Okay, so on this one I used Bermuda Bay, and this one I'm going to use Blackberry Bliss. Will I? Ah, I've got some really nice butterflies here that I could also use. And if I use those, I don't want Blackberry Bliss. And this one. Oh, it's tempting. Oh, look, let's just do it. Alright, so I'm going in here, picking up my colour. And because this is in the same spot as before, what I'm going to do is I'm not going to start. I'm actually going to move it slightly. So I can see that I'm slightly off. I can see a little bit of the crumb cake behind. Let's see if I can hold this up so you can see. Can you see what I mean? I don't know if you can see it. I'm coming really close. No, it's really hard to see. Oh, maybe a little bit. Anyway, the whole idea is you want to offset it. So you line it up perfect and then you move it ever so slightly so it's not perfect anymore. And then you come back in with your new colour, and we're going to do the same thing again. And just trust that it's working. I'm not going to go up quite as high as where I went before, so I can see that I fade off here. I'm going to go a little bit lower than that this time. I'm going to come back in and grab a bit more ink. And go again. Okay, let's pull that off. Oh, isn't that nice? Can you see? You can see a little bit of the white coming through underneath and here at the top where it blends in, but this is just beautiful. I love this look. I just love, love, love it. I'm hoping that you can see it okay. And it looks 3D. It is kind of like shadow stamping, but we're shadow stenciling, I guess. And the blending brushes just are so perfect for doing this. Just perfect. So there we go. And so if I wanted to finish this off, I could, I've got a sentiment. Let's see how these colours look. I don't mind the yellow. I think that's actually quite nice. And then I had another colour. Let me see. Here we go. Oh, I have this pink one. That's nice. Yeah, I like that one. Right, so I'm going to pop this one down first. Sometimes what I like to do with these butterflies, and these are just cut from the DSP by the way, with the dies. They cut perfectly. They're so nice. Did anyone see that this month, anyone who purchased this Butterfly Brilliance stamp set from me and the matching dies will automatically get from me an online class for free. So it's my gift with purchase this month. And there's no charge for the kit. You get all the supplies, you get a private tutorial sent to you, a YouTube tutorial there's an unlisted video just for you that you can sit down and make up the projects. So this is a very, very simple card, really. That little bit of background sponging just is the bomb. Just makes everything beautiful. And then all I need is the sentiment. So on the other one I used the sentiment that said cherished friend, but I'm thinking that might be too big. Right. What am I going to do then? I could use this one for a true friend. That would easily fit. Or you're an inspiration. That would fit too. So this is the one I had before, and that's just a little bit too big, cherished friend. So let me put this one down. There we go. Pick that up. You know what? You don't need. I think sometimes the simple cards are the best ones. They tend to be my favourites. It's just really nice to have a lovely simple design and a great result. Sorry guys, I'm just going to bring my head in here for a second, using my grid paper to get this straight. Just says you are an inspiration. And the only thing I think that would finish this off would be some little bits of bling in the middle of those. And for these ones, I think I will use my champagne rhinestones because they're beautiful. Just that little bit of colour. Now the other thing, of course, is if you have a particular colour in mind, and you don't happen to own it, grab some normal, good old plain rhinestones and then colour them with your blends, because those are just, you can make your rhinestones any colour you want. They're fantastic. I love my blends. Blends are just a really great investment. Alright, there we go. So now I've done 2 cards like this. There's 1 and there's 2. Do we have a favourite? They're pretty much the same. It's the same card. It's just different colours. I like them both. But I'm thinking next, and maybe for my class, I'm going to do a similar project, not quite the same, but I'm thinking about doing it in Misty Moonlight and white, and I think that'll be really beautiful, because blue and white always look so nice together. Okay, does anyone have any questions about anything we've done? Anyone want to see anything else that, I'll bring the other card back in. These are the 2 we've made today. Simple little cards. Yeah, I like them both too. I'm actually really happy with these cards. Okay, so if no one has any questions or has anything they need to know, the only thing I want you guys to know is that if you're on Facebook but you're not part of my Facebook page, you're missing out, because there's a lot of stuff. I post stuff pretty much every day, as often as I can on there, sometimes several times a day, and I'd love you to be part of that. So hop on over there. I'll put the link in the description below, and you can hop over there and be part of that. Also for my customers and team members, I have a VIP group. So if you're someone who's purchased from me in the past, I'll also put the shopping link in the description below. So if anyone's in Australia and would like any of these products, you're very welcome to go and shop with me. I hope you've enjoyed that. I enjoyed making them. So that's probably it for Sunday Night Creative tonight. But don't worry, I will be back during the week. I'll definitely be over on the Facebook page. And of course, don't forget, I'll be back here on Sunday night next week. And of course, on Friday night on Facebook. So lots of chances to catch up. I hope you like these. I enjoyed showing you the difference in the neutrals. I think it's always good to see how they are different from each other. Enjoy this week, guys. Have a great week, whatever you're doing, and be safe. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.